The container, if you haven't seen them before at Costco, that I get the little bay shrimp, looks just like that. 32 ounces, less than $12 for the week. So we try to do things on a relative budget around here. Of course, if you're eating more plant-based diet, then things can tend to be a little bit cheaper. Again, you just really have to make sure that you're getting complete proteins with each meal. Oh, and these freeze really well. I usually just let them defrost right along with the chicken and the pot roast in the fridge for the day. Next these out in my strainer, and I'm just going to rinse it and look for shells. Just make sure everything's all good. And it's always nice to get a little rinse off, because especially when they're frozen, these little shrimpies like to stick together pretty easily, as do the big shrimp too. At that point, it looks pretty good. Gone through everything. Now I used to individualize, like go through individually and portion out, like 6 portions of shrimp. But we're getting less space in the fridge. Alright, so always good to go back and make sure a second pair of eyes help you out with that one. These little shrimp doesn't matter quite so much, but it's never pleasant to bite down on something like that. And usually in one of those packages there's only like 1, maybe 2. It is not a lot. They do a pretty good job. And then dump right into my Tupperware. They also have these in bags. Those tend to be a little more expensive, but you can do the bagged ones too. And I'm going to rinse that off. Make sure everything's gone there, but I'm going to, like I said before, I'm going to stick my strainer right into the dishwasher, because that's what really gets all those tiny little mesh things fully cleaned. And then 6 servings of shrimp. He usually eyeballs it for the week. Ceviche is done. Tuna is done. I'm gonna slice up the chicken, put it, and then got about 3 more hours on the pot roast. So after 3 hours, just slice that up into 6 portions, put it in, and you are done for the week for food prep. For the chicken and the pot roast, I use these smaller containers. You can use whatever containers fit best, whatever is easiest. Take my chicken over here. Some sauce is drained out. Can be a little messy. I'm just gonna slice my chicken and place it into the containers. And even if you're not a meat eater, if you're trying to go more plant-based, or if you're vegan or vegetarian, this rub also, I always think it smells so good, so I've actually put it on tofu or Tempe before, and it's actually a nice little aside for that as well. So there are things that you can do here if you are more plant-based. It looks a little smaller than the others. Put it in there. For a lot of these things, I don't weigh out anymore. You can get a scale and make sure that you're weighing out everything really evenly. But once you do it for a while, you kind of just get to know what things look like. And then for these, it's easy. I've got 6 containers, 4 chicken breasts to 6 servings. So I just don't weigh it out anymore. This one still looks a little better. So it's there. And like I said before too, these are just some of the really simple recipes. We've got a lot of other recipes that you can try. Some take longer than others. For this individual, I think we are at about an hour now, since I've been chatting and doing other things. But an hour to prep food for the week is really not a whole lot. If you want to do things that involve more chopping, that's of course going to take a little bit longer, but you can always do that too. It's whatever your preference, whatever you have time for, that's what you're going to stick with. And we want things to be consistent for you. So you always want to go with things that are doable, that are manageable, and that you can keep up with. I was trying to measure these out by eye. Of course, with all of these recipes too, you always have to account for trial and error. The very first time I made this recipe, I'm not used to cooking meat. I don't eat meat, so I was so afraid of underdoing it that I overdid it, and it was so dry, and it didn't look good. Didn't taste very good, I don't think. But then by the second time I did it, tasted awesome, he said. So that's why I stick with this. Use the meat thermometer. When you use the meat thermometer, you're just really accurate. You know exactly it's been cooked enough. There's no undercooked. Always too, when you take things out and let them sit and rest, they're always going to go up a few more degrees in temperature because they're going to continue to cook just a little bit. But when you take it straight out of the oven, you want chicken to be 165. Especially since, like I said, this individual does not reheat these. This is just his snack. Now this snack goes with dried cherries or any other type of fruit. Let's see if I have a bag of dried cherries. The dried cherries from Costco are usually what I get, but we do have some lovely plums. So he's gonna eat those this week with them. I've got 2 different brands here. Sometimes you have to look around and see which ones are supposed to go on what. Sometimes lids of different brands work together, sometimes they don't. But we figured it out. And then those are right in their designated spot in the fridge. And that is all for food prep for the 200-pound active male. We have everything done. Breakfasts, I do a tofu scramble in the morning. He has homemade applesauce, which is mom makes, so you can do any sort of unsweetened applesauce in a can. So he has tofu. I use, again, the low sodium tamari, which is a gluten-free soy sauce. So with any sort of soy, anything, there's always going to be sodium. So you can look at the sodium. Serving size here is 1 tablespoon and it's 670 milligrams. I would just dab a little bit, just sprinkle a little bit. So it's definitely not a tablespoon. I don't even think it's a teaspoon. So it's not a whole lot of sodium in the morning, especially since, as you saw, I'm not adding a whole lot of sodium to any of the other food either. So we keep the sodium intake low. For breakfast in the morning as well, he has a protein shake. Mixes it with almond milk, and that's something he just does every morning. And then I fry up the tofu while I fry up tofu and some sliced vegetable for myself. And then I like to have some fresh fruit. He likes applesauce, so you can kind of see the differences there, but then also how it works together, where it's pretty easy to do for both. And then for dinner, I have my marinated tempeh, and you can fry that up. I don't mind. He usually has the salmon patties. I don't mind frying it up in the same frying pan. If you're really, really strict about the vegan diet, you can do it in separate. But salmon has all the good fats and everything. That's usually what runs off, so I don't mind a little bit in my tempeh. And tempeh, for those of you that don't know, it's just another soy product. So if you have a soy allergy, you wouldn't be using tofu or tempeh. But there's definitely a lot of these other recipes that you can use, and you can just substitute out maybe lentils or peas, chickpeas, any other beans. You can mix and match and use any of the food lists that we have. You can mix them and match them so that the recipes really work for you and what you like. I just wanted to show how in about an hour we can food prep for the whole week for an individual. So it's definitely all home cooked. You know what it is, very easy, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that this helps. You can always skip to different portions in the video. I'll try to time code it a little bit so you can see if you just want to look and see for one recipe. That'll be easier to skip to that part of the video. But thank you so much for watching. It was a joy. Have a great day.